Most people think interview questions are the harder part of the new TOEFL speaking. They're not. According to my students' mock test results, the real score killer is listen and repeat. And it's not because their English is bad. Here's what listen and repeat really tests. You hear 7 sentences and you see an image containing 7 visual cues for each sentence. There are no additional texts to remind you what to say. There's a short delay after each of the sentence for you to recall what you hear before you start recording. That is around 2.5 seconds. And each sentence is scored between 0 to 5 based on the completeness of the sentence. You have to repeat the sentence exactly the same to get a perfect 5 out of 5 for that sentence. Small word changes and missing pieces drop your score to 4, 3, or even 2. And the last 3 sentences are usually much longer, so the difficulty goes up fast. Once you reach sentence 5, 6, 7, it stops feeling like language and starts feeling like a memory test. Even strong speakers lose points here. Not because they don't understand. Again, it's because they can't reproduce every detail under pressure. Here are some common problems. Words get substituted. For example, you hear newly opened restaurants, but instead you only remember new restaurant. You hear he eventually agreed to doing something. You hear he eventually agreed to, but instead you said he agreed to. Or sometimes you hear subordinate clauses at the end of the sentence. They're really long. Or sometimes adjectives or adverbs get simplified. So try to do this with me. Try to repeat after me. 1, 2, 3, go. If you want to see Van Gogh's Starry Night, go to the 2nd floor where all the 19th century masterpieces are stored. Go. So check again. Did you manage to say the exact same thing? What did you lose? There's another problem. Sometimes you understand everything and think you say the same thing, but when you play it back, one of the above happens. So you feel like, I basically said the same thing. But when you hear it again, you will notice that there are small differences. And the scoring engine can catch all the nuances. Isn't our memories very fragile? One way to deal with the memory issue is to take notes. You likely have 2.5 seconds after each sentence to take some notes. If you can also take notes when the sentence is being played. You are given 3 pieces of paper and 1 to 2 pencils at the test center. I believe you were testing at home. You can also write on your little whiteboard. Also, practice to associate the highlighted item on the image with a few keywords that you hear to help you memorize. If you're taking the new TOEFL 2026 and want extra practice, timing, and scoring guides and updates as we collect more real results, there's a link below this video. Fill out the short form and I'll send them to you. Now, what about the interview questions? Compared to the old TOEFL Task 1, where you also hear similar questions, the new interview questions are easier to deal with. You don't have to be so obsessed with a high speaking rate. You do not need to speak at 150 words per minute, which is about 113 words in 45 seconds. If you can speak fast, fine. But if you speak slower, say only 75 words, that is about 100 words per minute, that will be also okay. You can still get a good 5.5 or 6. As long as you stay on topic, you keep talking without freezing, with few pauses, and your sentence grammar is mostly correct, then you're mostly fine. So if you're losing points in speaking, it's probably not because of what you say in the interview questions. It's probably more related to listen and repeat. So let me share my own result so that you can see how this plays out in the real scoring system. On my new TOEFL, the real exam, I felt that the last 3 listen and repeat sentences also did not go very well for me. I dropped words in sentence 5, 6, and 7. I estimate that I was getting 3s instead of 4s in those questions. So my final speaking score was 5.5 out of 6. When I did the paid mock tests, I got 6 twice and speak the same way using the same speed in the interview questions. So again, the only difference is that I remember more clearly in listen and repeat in the mock tests. So for the new TOEFL speaking, remember, listen and repeat is the real score killer, especially the long sentences that usually show up in sentence 5, 6, and 7. The test is very sensitive to missing pieces. Even if you understand everything, you might still forget something. So practice memory methods such as taking notes and using visual cues on the image to help you recall information. The new interview questions are important, but they're not the main reasons that strong speakers lose points, usually. But in later videos, we will also tell you what to do if you can't manage to find things to talk about in the interview questions. In my next video, I'll talk about how to actually train for these long listen and repeat sentences so your memory and structure can keep up with your understanding. If your exam is coming up and you need a specific speaking score, make sure you don't miss it.